Hello again, and welcome to day 23 of the Greatness Within journey. 31 days to reconnect with yourself and start creating a life worthy of you. I did not want to go into the next stage of the framework, the creator stage, until I shared with you these two ways I think about time management and goal setting, which are two other methods, or maybe most of the commonly used out there, to focus your energy and time and to design your life in a way that it's in alignment with you. So let's talk about time management first. And the first thing to say about that is you can't really control time. So we probably need to start changing the phrasing to priority management. And notice that I say priority rather than the plural version, because we technically can only focus on one thing at a time. You can do things sequentially, but it's already proven that if we start switching back and forth between two things, we lose a lot of energy trying to refocus on the task. So the key to success here is to manage priority, and you have to come up with a way to rate that, I guess, in a sense. So the way this works is I prefer the 3 R's method by John Maxwell, who shared it in one of his leadership books. I believe it's in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. But the way this works is that you figure out the 3 R's. So the 3 R's stand for required, rewarding, and return. So required is something that you explicitly have to do yourself. You cannot delegate. You cannot hire it out. You have to be involved in it, and that could be strategic thinking. It could be a specific job or task that only you can do and nobody else can. For example, if I'm the one selling some type of one-on-one coaching, I'm supposed to be the one doing the coaching. I shouldn't be selling you the coaching and then have somebody else jump in for me and do the coaching instead of me, because I'm offering you, or I'm representing myself in that instance. Obviously, if I'm the one doing selling for someone else, then that will be okay. But in regards to that specific job, I'll be the one having to do the sale. So if I'm expected to do something myself, it cannot be delegated. That's what you're thinking about in terms of required. The second one is rewarding, and that just goes into your passions, your purpose, the things that give you energy, what gets you excited, the things that you do really well. And then number three is the return, and that is just what out of the task that you have, how much return are you going to get? Like, how likely is it that you're going to produce a high return for your investment in that activity and getting it done? So that is kind of like the idea of the biggest domino. And if you take care of the domino, then everything else falls into place. So now you have the three things, and the way that you use them is that you look at all the things that you're supposed to do, all the tasks that you have on your plate, and then rate them for each of the things. So how much of this is required of me to do, as opposed to like delegating or something like that? How much of that is rewarding, and then how much return do I get? So from a scale of 1 to 10, you just rate subjectively the quality of it, and at the end of it, you'll come up with a list somewhere between 0 and 30. Each task will be rated, and you'll be able to organize them, and then you will focus on the ones with the highest scores. It's not scientific, but it's a nice compromise between having some objective numbering or rating system and then you bringing in your own essence to the process. The combination of the two is very simple, it's very quick to do, and it was going to help you at least manage, and you can at least monitor what's going on and adapt if you need to. But there's no need to be absolutely precise. You just have to go through the process to help you rank them out, and then you focus your energy and go from there. So let's switch over to the goal setting piece. One of the things with goal setting is that a lot of people like to use the SMART goal system, where part of it is like you want to set a goal that's achievable or realistic. Achievable or realistic. How do you know that when you're designing something that you have never done before? It's a new life. It's you're endeavoring in something that's unknown. So how do you know something is achievable or not? And that's the mistake we make when we try to goal set. Most people say, hey, we just made 10% last year, so therefore our next goal should be 10% higher than that, or something like that. They just do some type of stretch goal. But what if they set themselves up to be, could we make 30% this year? That there's no way for them to know. But maybe if you shoot for something higher, much higher, something you've never done before, you get creative and come up with new ways of doing things. So that's the part of the goal. You're trying to create a life worthy of you, a life you've never done before. So you're gonna have to set goals based on this vision that you came up with in the prior steps, and then figure out just one way to get closer to that. So you're gonna set up a goal that is going to be something you've never done before. So you have to ignore the do I know how to do it type question. You want to set a goal that gets you there, and then go figure it out, figure out how to make it happen, what skills you need to learn, who do you need to meet, and all these kinds of things. So that's one part of the goal setting process. The other thing that helps and definitely should be there is time in the sense of not rating, but time to create urgency and to focus the brain on this time bound idea. So you have a goal that is supposed to happen at a specific time, but it's not for you to do like, if I don't meet the goal by this time, then I'm in trouble. That's not the way this works. You're setting the goal so you create a sense of pressure to the brain or mind to focus on it and get creative and make it happen. So that's something, a component that you'll need. The next component is be specific. Like, don't be too generic. Like, I just want to lose weight. You probably want to say, hey, I want to lose X amount of weight, or you want to weigh this much by this date. And and then you just get into, I'm going to do that by this. So first is specific. So be specific to what you want with this goal. And the more specific, the probably the easiest is going to be for your brain to kind of like figure out how to make it happen. So you want to be specific. You don't want to go too like compulsive with it, but you definitely want to be specific. Something like, hey, I'm going to have a lunch with this person at this date, at this time, and I'm going to go to this restaurant. Like, that's reasonable level of specificity, and that will get your brain to figure out how to do that. So now you have time bound, you have specificity, and you have the idea of forgetting how to do it. You just want to focus on something that moves you towards your vision. And that's the important part of this, where you're setting a goal that's aligned with a vision that you had prior. And a lot of people just start setting random goals or goals just because they sound cool, but they may not be aligned with what they're doing. So sure, it's a good thing to have a goal, but make sure that in this instance, it's somewhat aligned with what you're trying to create, so your effort gets more emotionally invested in it, because you're trying to create something that you really, really want in your life. So that is pretty much it. So the homework in terms for today, you can do two things. You can do the priorities, look at your list and do the rating system, see what you come up with, or you can just choose to explore what could be a goal. What is one thing that you can get specific that you may not have done before, but it's going to get you closer to where you want to go, and then give yourself the permission to explore and just figure out how to make it happen. That is the whole process, is a journey. It's something where you're entering an evolution of yourself, and it requires you to just play with some things. But the specificity of a goal, the time bound, and then the alignment to your vision is going to keep you focused on that journey and making it happen. that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Go choose your exercise for today, whether that's your priorities or setting a goal, but it should help you start setting boundaries and managing the experience that you're going through at this time and going forward. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next